Steveston is a community that is so full of history, and right now I'm standing in the barn that houses the Steveston Interurban Tram. With me is a good friend, Ron Hyde, who's a longtime Steveston community historian, and Ron actually has written a book on the history of Steveston. Thank you, Ron, for joining me.
Thank you.
So tell us a bit about the history of Steveston as it relates to the tram and rapid transit all those years ago.
Yes, well, at one time in the Steveston area here, they had 14 canneries. And of course, in those days, Steveston was world renowned for canning sockeye salmon. So the tram really started to pull workers in from Burnaby, New Westminster, Vancouver, because those lines all met in Marpole as well. And Richmond at that time had about 500 residents, most of who were farmers. So as it went by, they would kind of look down the nose and say, oh, there goes the Sockeye Special.
And that's where the name came from.
It, so I used it.
The Sockeye Special. Yeah. This really highlights the history of Richmond and Steveston in being not just a center for the canning, the salmon fishing, but also the fact that we had rapid transit 100 years ago.
That's correct.
That linked Vancouver through Richmond to Steveston.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other thing, too, during the day, now that the tram was operating to Vancouver, ladies could take their children, go into Vancouver, do some shopping. There was, department stores there, which we didn't have here. And the younger people could take their girlfriend and go into Vancouver and go to the theater, which we didn't have here.
Now, you also talk in your book about the early days of flight and flying and planes coming to Richmond.
Yes, the first airplane to land in Western Canada was in the Mineral Racetrack where Richmond Centre is now.
And of course, not long after that, we had the development of the airport, which now, of course, is one of the best airports in the world, our YVR International Airport.
They had a field at Garden City and Cambie that planes could, it was private planes could come in and take off. And then it was about 3 years later that we moved out to Sea Island and actually established an airport there.
Fascinating history. Thank you, Ron, for preserving the history and sharing it with all of us with your book and your passion for the history of Richmond and Steveston.
Well, thank you, John.
I'm John Yap, running for re-election in the riding of Richmond-Steveston in the May 9, 2017 election.